Welcome to Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Baird. We are at the Prepper Expo in Appleton, Wisconsin. This is the first year for it. We're going to go on the floor and talk to those who are out here in the prepping world to see what they have to offer to how you can be a better prepper.
I'm here with Chris from Mods International. And what do you do, Chris?
Well, Mods International, we repurpose shipping containers into a variety of things, whatever you want. We've got a really nice demo unit here. That's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit. We can make bunkers, bathroom shower units, trade displays, you name it. There's just no limit. These things are like big Legos for big kids.
Well, they definitely are interesting, and I know with like the whole tiny home movement, do you find a lot of people find them satisfactory to that extent?
Yeah, they do. We've had people that'll take them up north for cabins, or they'll actually live in them while they're redoing their regular house or remodeling, and then use it as a second home or a home for the in-laws or what have you. So yeah, we're seeing a big upswing in people that are using them as regular living units.
Okay, and say you wanted, just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit. How long would you say it would take for that to be put together and ready to be lived in?
It would take about 2 weeks, depending on how much customization. Our standard 1-bedroom units do take about 2 weeks. But again, we can do things that we can put them together side by side on top of each other. So there's really no limit in what we can do with them. So, but it's much quicker than traditional stick building. So it just goes a lot quicker. If it's something for a retail space, the advantage for the business owner is we can get them up and running a lot quicker as well. So their operating costs, they're generating income a lot quicker. So it's just a lot more convenient.
Now, are you able to, could somebody adapt this with like a solar unit or, some sort of alternative energy in order to have that additional as well?
You bet, yeah. If you can do it to a regular house, you can do it with this as well.
Well, it's definitely interesting. Now, and you said that you can do these all over the place, right? Not just Wisconsin, not just one area.
Right. Yep. We travel and deliver all over the country. We've actually done some international projects. We're in the middle of a big international project coming up here in a little bit. So yeah, there is no place we can't go.
And what is your website again?
modsinternational.com.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
I'm here with Todd. He's part of the Wisconsin Storm Chasers. Now, for people who may not know what that is, can you explain what the basic concept of the Wisconsin Storm Chasers are in a nutshell?
We go out when severe weather's approaching, and we watch the skies to help Skywarn or National Weather Service know what their radars can't actually see, so we can warn people and give them more heads up of severe weather. But we also go afterwards, after the weather's done, and we'll help like families, and if trees are down in their yards and stuff, we'll help cut that up so that way they can get out of their driveways until the insurance companies and stuff can actually take care of the rest of it. So basically we help during and after the storms.
So when we hear the meteorologists say we want storm chasers to go out in a specific area, that's what you guys, that's your trigger to go out and see what's going on?
Well, they're actually asked for storm spotters. We are actually a spotter team too, and but they usually storm chasers more travel all over for it. Spotters are more locally, and usually the National Weather Service will have like Green Bay, Milwaukee, Madison. They have certain areas to themselves, so they have their own spotter teams for that. We happen to go anywhere that is any holes open, so that way we can fill up the gaps.
Now, for Wisconsin, the storm chaser, does other states have similar groups
yes.
like this?
Absolutely.
Okay. And for people who want to be part of the storm chasers, I'm sure there's some kind of certification, some kind of class they have to go through?
Actually, there's a couple tests to take, and then they suggest to go inside of a 3-hour class that's put on by the National Weather Service. no tests or anything. You just go in and you watch the presentation, and then afterwards you are skywarned.
I see. And is there a website that people can go to who may want more information on being a storm chaser or storm watcher like you guys are?
Well, you could go to our website. It would be the easiest to remember since it's in Wisconsin. It's wisconsinstormchasers.com. And then we have all the information for how to become certified for Skywarn, or the links to their websites right on our educational section.
Thank you very much, Todd, for the information.
All right, thank you.
I'm here with Julie from Irish Acres Alpaca, and she raises alpaca and she makes these beautiful alpaca products ranging from socks to gloves to, well, she actually doesn't make them. She sends them off to have them made, but they are made in the USA, and then she sells them. So she raises alpacas and she also sells the products. So where's the farm, Julie?
The farm is in New Holstein, about 35 miles southeast of Appleton.
And she actually has this available for sale, right, on your website?
Yep, for sale on the website, at the vendor shows, and also right out of my home.
And why don't you talk about the fiber, the alpaca fiber, or the fur, or whatever you want to call it, fiber. How does it differ as opposed to other natural fibers?
Well, I usually compare it to wool, and it's 5 times warmer than sheep's wool. It's hypoallergenic, meaning it contains no lanolin. Usually people that are allergic to wool, they're allergic to the lanolin or the chemicals they use to remove the lanolin. It's a natural wicking fiber, so it will draw the moisture away from your feet or hands. It's just super warm and super soft. I can't say enough good about it. And I do have them on.
Okay, and obviously this costs a little bit more than if you were to buy wool or synthetic or something. Talk about the longevity of it.
It's more durable than wool, lasts for years, and you mentioned the price of wool. It's actually comparable in price, but with all the benefits, it's actually a better value than wool.
So it's definitely something to look into, especially if you're looking for something that's going to maybe last you a long time, or something that you know that you're going to be able to use year after year.
Correct.
Well, thank you for your time, Julie. Really appreciate it. Definitely look into the alpaca products.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at a Prepper Expo wouldn't be a complete expo without talking about solar panels. I'm with Jim here, and you're with?
Energize LLC from Winneconne, Wisconsin.
Now, talking about solar panels, this is becoming more and more popular based on, is it really anywhere, or is it just kind of like the rural areas as maybe some people might think?
Oh, it's really all over the place. It's across all political spectrums. We see people in rural areas, farms, businesses, residences, as well as urban areas, whether it's commercial sites or residential sites.
Now, with your product, you can, as we see in here, you can customize it to whatever the customer wants. There's no standard that they have to purchase or recommendations. You can do whatever their needs need.
Right. We're basically focused on what the customer's needs are first. We don't go in with a predefined idea of what we're trying to sell. We're trying to listen and make sure we understand what they're trying to accomplish. And based on that, we recommend the appropriate product or products and system to help them meet those needs.
Now, over the last 15 years, the price of solar panels have greatly gone down. Now, and we see a giant panel right here. There's still some things that people need to know. If, like we were talking earlier, if one cell gets damaged, that whole panel has to be replaced. You just can't replace that one tile, I guess.
Right. Solar cells and modules are pretty tough. They're pretty durable. They can take 1-inch diameter hailstones at 52 miles an hour. But on occasion in Wisconsin, we get bigger hail, and that's what insurance is for. And so then the insurance company would pay to have that module replaced if that were to occur.
Now, for people who are thinking about investing in solar panels, obviously it's money saving on their part, and based on what power company you have, you can sell some of that energy back that you don't need or are not using. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Each utility has its own rules, though, and a lot of those rules are changing right now, so best to get in touch and go over what those rules are, and that's what we evaluate as part of how we propose things to meet that customer's needs, is looking at what the utility specifics are as well. So whatever we propose is going to actually be the best solution for them, accounting for what new rules there might be today or coming from the utilities.
Now, for people who purchase this and maybe need to move, is this a mobile device, or once it's installed in the house, is that pretty much the permanent location for this thing?
Typically, you'd want to leave it there. It's pretty much meant to be a permanent thing. It wouldn't be too difficult to get the modules off of the roof and move somewhere else if you had, say, someone who wants to buy the home but they absolutely don't want that on there. In most cases, it's going to add value to the home. You can show your utility bills before and after, and that should be the financial incentive enough for someone to say, yeah, that's worth more money. But if something happened, it could be taken off. But yes, it is really intended to be more of a permanent type of an installation. And they do last very long, 30 to 50 years for the modules, which is why they're done in a more permanent type of a method.
Now, a lot of people think, oh, I want solar, I want solar. What is the number one thing you tell a client before they say, I absolutely want it? What do you tell them that they need to think about before purchasing a device from you or from any other company?
Well, first it starts with that definition of what the needs are, because I can propose them whatever I want and I can sell something, but that doesn't mean it's going to meet those needs. So that's the number one key thing, is to think about what it is they're trying to accomplish. Some people are trying to accomplish saving money on their energy bills, eliminate it completely or cut it down to size. Some people are looking for some independence from outages. Maybe they have frequent outages, or they have important things to power a business, for example, in the home, or medical equipment, something that they need to power that's really critical. They can't stand outages. Some people are looking to be, either because they have to or because they choose to actually be off-grid. So they're totally different types of situations that customers have, and that's the number one thing, is to define what really those needs are, so that myself or anyone proposing a system to that customer can propose something that will actually meet those needs.
Now, we have snow in Wisconsin, a lot of portions of the north United States. When snow gets on these panels, do they still emit energy, or does that snow have to be removed before they can begin to create more energy from the solar?
Typically in Wisconsin, yes, we do have snow, and it'll sit on the modules for some period of time, and Mother Nature is what dictates that duration. Usually it'll come off, and it can come off sometimes in a day, it could be a week. Usually you just let Mother Nature do it when the sunshine comes out the next day or the next several days, and take care of it that way. They do make specialized snow removal type, rake type devices that you can use to help that off, but most customers just let Mother Nature take its course with that.
You can potentially, as a homeowner, damage it more with the removal process than just letting it be.
Right, if you just wanted to try to use something you had at home, not a good idea, because it's not worth, you're not going to save that much energy generation, and you could potentially scratch it. So you'd only want to do that if you had the right tools, or had somebody do it that had the right tools.
And you can install anything from a barn to a church to maybe a cabin out in the woods off-grid?
Any kind of a sound structure. It needs to be a sound structure. Structurally speaking, from the major structural members need to be solid. The roof needs to be in good shape, and the roof should actually be as new as possible, because these systems are, like I said, very long lasting. You don't want to put them on a roof that you're going to need to replace in the next few years, 5 years, or even 10 years, because you're paying labor that you've already paid to install and then paying to take it off and put it back on.
Thank you, Jim, for the information. For people who want to find you on the website to ask you more questions, what's the website they can reach you at?
Website is www.goenergize.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm here at the Berkey water filter booth here with Beth. Now, Beth, we've heard a lot of talk about Berkey and they're sponsoring different podcasts. What is Berkey? Why is Berkey so superior over other common water filtration systems on the market?
So you hear about Berkey and it's really popular. Everyone's grabbed onto it, and it's because Berkey is time tested. Some of these other water filters, they've been around for a short period of time. Berkey has the carbon or the charcoal based filter system. So that's a time tested item that's been around forever, and it just filters through and it works, and it hasn't changed.
Now, in this is a 1.5 gallon model here. There's 2 charcoal filters in there, correct?
Right.
Now, people say, well, how long is the charcoal filter good for? And there's quite a lot of gallons that can be pumped through one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
About how many gallons can you go through one before you have to replace it?
If you're going through tap water, it'll take about 3,000 gallons.
Per filter? Or
Yeah,
is it
per filter. So if you have 2 filters in, that's 6,000 gallons. Where if you do the math, that's about 2 people for a year. So depending on how much water they drink.
So the unit pays for itself very, very quickly with that.
Right.
With one, the healthiness of the water you're drinking. Now, what water can you put in it? Can you just put any stream water, pond water, stagnant water? What can you and can you not put in it?
You can put any water in here you want to. You can do the stagnant pond water. So it removes all those viruses and bacteria and everything that you're looking for. So if you were to go to my website, bethinspires.com, you could see all the different specific elements. So if there's a specific element you're looking for to see if it filters, all that information is available online to really specifically look for.
Now we have the 1.5 gallon. We've got a travel one. Let's go over and take a look at the travel one. the travel one here, it's the same type of thing. It's just on a smaller scale, right?
Right. And the one we actually looked at over there is called the travel
Okay,
size, so that's the 1.5 gallon. So this is a quart size, and it's called the Go Berkey, and so it's part of the Go Berkey kit, which a lot of people put in their bug out bag. So it's just big enough to fit that 3,000 gallon filter, and it goes in this nice little quart container, and it's just will go down the Berkey element into the bottom canister here.
So you already have a drinking vessel with it.
Right.
Okay.
And it stacks inside of itself, so it fits really nicely in the bag that it also comes with. And in the Go Berkey kit, you also get the Sport Berkey water bottle, which is a little bit different from the main charcoal-based filters. This one has a smaller charcoal-based filter that will do river water. So if you're hiking or something like that, this is probably your best bet.
So no stagnant, but moving
Right.
moving water.
Moving water.
Okay. And then the big one back here, same thing as the 1.5 gallon, just basically a different look, or what's different with this one?
Yeah, it's just made out of a different material, and I love to have it presented here because it gives a presentation of how the filters look inside the system, because you may see the stainless steel and you're like, oh, what's all inside of that? So you can see the different, the white elements there do the arsenic and fluoride, so you get your water well-rounded and clean and clear for you.
Now this is great for an off-grid place with no power, because all this is gravity fed. You don't have to plug these things into anything.
Right.
Now, for people who may see that these are a little more on the pricey side, what is your first reaction to that in the health of the water that you're drinking? I guess would be one of them.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, if the system itself is too high of a price, there's always other options. We sell just the filters alone, and that's a great option. There's a lot of people, go on YouTube, check out, people are making their own systems. You just need a 2-part chamber system, and the filter is what your bread and butter is. That's what's doing the filtering. So that's what you need. That's what's most important. So
Thank you very much for the information, Beth. For people who want to find your website to find the information you were speaking about, what is that website again?
it's bethinspires.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the program as we brought to you some information regarding surviving and prepping. Join us next time for more organic gardening and food preparation and preparedness. I'm Joy Baird, and this has been the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.